Hello everyone, I trust that you're all staying safe and keeping well as we continue on this strange journey that we have embarked upon. Do you have the problem that sometimes someone comes into your mind but you can't remember what their name is? And you go through the letters of the alphabet one by one, trying to put a name to the face that's in your mind. And I wondered, what does it mean when someone calls us by name? It identifies us and is personal to us. In earlier days, people were given names which were descriptive of the jobs or the work that they did. They had butcher or carpenter, cartwright or weaver. The descriptions over time became the surnames. So John the Butcher became John Butcher, and Fred the Weaver became Fred Weaver, and so on. So the surnames, which were derived from the occupations they had, actually told us something about them as well. Other names are what we call nicknames, and usually refer to a particular characteristic about the person or their job. In these days of correctness, some of these names are frowned upon now. We have Slim or Lofty, we have Tubby or Curly, Sparky or Chippy. When someone uses our name, it usually means that they have a relationship with us or they have some knowledge of us. I get irritated when I get posts, especially now that I'm a bit older, from insurance companies which are normally headed Dear Alan. I've got no knowledge of them, I've never had any dealings with them, and yet they use my name. So our names are important, and where they are written is important too. When we went to school, our names were in the register, and when it was called out, we had to answer to it to show that we were where we should be. As we've got older and we've gone into the work, our names are hopefully on the payroll. If they're not, we won't get paid. And when we read in the Bible, in books like Chronicles, we read lists of names, and it's easy sometimes to wonder why on earth all these names are there, especially the ones that we can't pronounce. But it shows us that God knows each of our names, and He is interested in each and every one of us. I read the account of Zacchaeus recently in Luke 19. I wondered, what was he called by the people around? The locals would know him as the chief taxman, probably called him Zac the Tax. The Romans might have just known him as a number. He was just a cog in the big machine that was the Roman Empire, and he was just there to bring money into it. The zealots, like Simon, one of the disciples, who were the freedom fighters of the day against the Roman Empire, they probably called him a traitor, because he was working for the opposition. And I'm sure there would have been lots of other names used as well, referring to him. Yet when Jesus passed by where he was, he called him by his proper name, Zacchaeus, although they'd probably never ever met before. And the fact that Jesus knew him by name had a really dramatic effect on Zacchaeus. He turned his life around, inasmuch as he promised to give back all the money that he'd taken from people falsely, and not only give it back, but give it back with interest as well. So I want to encourage us today that God does know each and every one of us by name. He's interested in each and every one and what's going on in our lives, especially through the difficulties and the problems that we might be having. So be encouraged. God knows all about us, and He cares about us. Amen.